Hello traders, FXPIPCOLLECTOR here. Today is Wednesday, April 19th, and welcome to today's live stream. Thanks for coming. I do appreciate the support. As usual, we are going to start off by looking at the US dollar index, DXY. We're going to do a full top-down analysis on that, and then we're going to use that information to try to figure out what to do on all these other US dollar pairs. And the US dollar pairs have definitely been a little bit all over the place today, so it's definitely a good thing that we are live streaming today. So welcome, thanks for the support, and we may as well just get started right away. Now, let's see, on the DXY, I still think there's a very good possibility this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. I think this is an A, B, C of B, and I still see this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of C. Now, if this is the end of a wave C right here, then this is going to end up continuing the downtrend in a big way, making lower lows, lower highs, and just keep on trending down, because that's what happens at the end of a wave C, whether you're talking about the monthly time frame, or you're talking about the 1 minute, or really anything in between. The end of an ABC should go down and take out the most previous low before the ABC even started, pretty much no matter what time frame you're talking about. So let's take it down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, I do like to switch back to the US dollar index because I do find that one is actually quite a bit more trustworthy. So on the US dollar index, I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still think this is either a 1, more likely to be a 1, but I'm still looking at it as possibly being a wave A. I still think there's a chance this has already ended a correction right here, but I still see that it is possible that it would go up and make like an ABC like this, which if it does make an ABC, it's probably going to be a wave 2 or possibly a wave B. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Trading a wave B or trading a wave 2 should be basically the exact same strategy, so it really shouldn't matter whether it's a wave B or whether it's a wave 2. So let's keep going down to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, now this is where I see the possibility of this being like an A, B, C, D, E, and that we may have actually already ended the correction. If we really did already end this correction right here, because this move down to me really looks like a trend. That doesn't really look like a correction to me unless it's like a motive wave correction, and it really hasn't taken out any structure yet, so we still have to look at this move up right here as possibly being a correction to the last wave down, and we still have to look at this as more likely to end up continuing the downtrend. So for me, the trend is definitely still down on the daily time frame and up. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, definitely a little bit of a tricky pattern today. The market, like I said, has kind of been all over the place. But now in hindsight, we can kind of see that this is most likely an A. We can see this is a B. And we can see that this move up right here that's just barely spiked off the 78% Fibonacci level probably is a wave C. We have a lower high, impulsive move down at a Fibonacci level after making 3 waves up. It definitely looks to me like that is the end of a correction, and we're probably at least going to go back down to these lows, and if this really is like a wave 3 on the longer time frames, it may go actually a lot further down than that. So I'm still very bearish. I was thinking today when it was going up that it would maybe possibly break that high, but after seeing the 3 waves up, seeing the impulsive move down at a Fibonacci level, I am thinking that it actually probably is more likely to just keep on trending down. So now let's take it down to the 1-hour time frame. So we definitely have I could picture this move up being a wave B too. So like I said, there's definitely a few possibilities here, but this is most likely a trend. It probably is a wave A. This looks like a trend also, which makes you think that it is like an A, B, C. Like I said, this possibly could be a wave B already. But I do kind of see the fact that it made like a 3-way pattern up. Let me show you what I mean by clearing this out. This is definitely kind of a 3-wave up move. So if this goes down and then makes an impulsive move back up, then I would say that's an ABC right there, and I would definitely be ready to go long, and at that point I would say it probably is going to go up and take out that high. The other possibility is, just like what I was showing on the higher time frames, this is already a wave A, this is already a wave B, and it's already a wave C, and if that's the case, then we're just going to keep on trending down. So whether it's going down in a big way like this, or whether it's a wave C, we should be able to tell the difference. If it's going down like in a trend, then it should continue to make lower lows, lower highs like that. If it's going down to make a wave C, then it will probably go down, take out this low, and then make an impulsive move up, ending a wave C, and most likely at that point we'll just end up continuing the uptrend. So like I said, we do have a few possibilities here for sure, but we should be able to tell what is more likely to happen if we pay attention to the market and actually see what price is telling us that is going to happen next. So let's take that information that we just learned by looking at the US dollar index, and now we're going to try to apply it to all these other US dollar pairs, including gold. So let's do that now. Let's look at the daily time frame on the euro dollar. Now the euro dollar and the pound dollar especially, I really haven't seen any reason to think on the higher time frames that this move up is complete. We still have not taken out any structure. We're still making higher lows, higher lows. If this does end up continuing up, it's going to be another higher low. And if this really is a wave 3 like I do suspect that it is, then this has actually got a long ways to go to the upside. So we definitely want to continue to look for longs on shorter time frames until we can at least identify the end of something by seeing a structure break to the downside, which we definitely have not seen that yet. So that tells me that I'm still looking for longs on shorter time frames. Now going down here, this is the ABC correction that I've been seeing for a couple days now. I definitely had some doubts about it today when it made that big move down, but now in hindsight we can kind of see that we have impulsive up, we have 3 waves down, and it looks like it's turning back up. If that right there really is the end of a ABC correction, then this will go up and it will take out that high and maybe even go a lot further than that based on the longer time frames. You know, like I said, we have not taken out structure to the downside yet, so the trend is definitely 100% still up. So going down to the 1 hour time frame. So on the 1 hour time frame, this is where I see a trend, then a correction, and then a trend. Usually when you see 3 waves like that, that means it's an ABC, and then we have an impulsive move up, which looks like a trend. I still think this is a wave 1, but it could be a wave A. This definitely made 3 waves down right here. It looks like an ABC of 2, but I guess it could still be a wave B, and it looks like it's going up pretty strong right now for possibly a wave 3 or a wave C. If it's a wave 3, then it may bounce off some fib levels, but it'll never take out any structure to the downside. If it's a wave C, then it'll go up to one of these Fibonacci levels and then turn back down with a big impulsive move, taking out structure and proving that it really is a wave C. So depending on what time frames you trade on, you could definitely be looking for longs on shorter time frames, and while you're trading long, you're going to learn whether this is a wave 3 like this or whether it's a wave C like this. So we just have to pay attention to the pattern, pay attention to price, and if we pay attention close enough, like I said, usually we can at least get a pretty good idea of what is going to happen next if we pay attention close enough. Right now it definitely looks like it's going up, so we would be looking for longs on shorter time frames. Now the pound dollar was the one that was really tricky today because that looked, we'll go back up to the daily first, we'll come back to the 1 hour, but that really looked like it was ending a correction today. But now in hindsight we can kind of see that it probably isn't. Now on the daily we really haven't taken out any structure to the downside yet. Just like the euro dollar, I would definitely still say that the trend is up. It looks like it's trying to make a new higher low. I would say it's at least going to go up to one of these higher Fibonacci levels before we see too much resistance, and it does seem to me like it is more likely to just keep on trending up. That doesn't mean there won't be some pullbacks along the way, but like I always say, pullbacks are actually very good for us because at the end of a pullback is where I look to trade long for the continuation of the uptrend. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, it's a little easier to see on the shorter time frames, but I was saying this yesterday that this looks like a trend, probably a wave A. This looks like 3 waves up, probably a wave B, and then this looks like a trend for the wave C. We had a structure break and then we had a pullback. At the end of that pullback right there is where I probably would have gone long for the continuation of this uptrend. So let's take it right down to the 1 hour time frame because this was definitely a little bit of a tricky pattern. We had pound CPI news today, which is why it probably went up and down like that. But we definitely see a one wave up. This is where it got a little tricky for me because it looked like an A, it looked like three waves down for a B, and then it looked like a uptrend for the C, and then it made a big impulsive move down. When it made that big impulsive move down, I thought for sure that it ended a Kretzen. But then, in hindsight, looking at all correlated pairs, we can see that this is an ABC, and that it ended in ABC with an irregular top, irregular wave B, which you definitely want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with the irregular wave B pattern, because we see it all the time, and it looks like it probably is more likely now to just keep on making those higher highs, higher lows, and just keep on trending up. So let's check out the Aussie dollar. Let me just get back to here. Yeah, no problem. We'll look at the Euro Aussie. Sorry, I was just checking out my Discord channel because I do take requests during these live streams from my Patreon members, so I definitely make sure I pay attention to that so we can keep on top of that. So so if you haven't done so already, definitely join my Discord channel. It's 100% free. You don't have to pay a dime if you do not want to pay anything. So there's also a Patreon membership, which I just finished my course recently, and the course comes with the gold Patreon membership, so definitely check that also. The link for both of those are in the chat and in the description. But like I said, even if you want to stay a free member, you can join my Discord, and it's 100% free to join, and definitely getting to be a large community of traders with that are willing to help each other out. So anyways, on the daily time frame, the Aussie dollar, I still think this looks like an A. I still think this looks like three waves down for the B, and I still believe this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this move down right here was very strong, but it did kind of make a higher low, higher low. It looks like we got another higher low that's trying to make. I still think this is actually more likely to just keep on going up, most likely for a big wave C. So let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, this is definitely a very tricky pattern too. Like I said, the dollar's been kind of all over the place this week, but we have impulsive down, corrective up, impulsive down. Looks like to me an ABC that it made impulsive up and three waves down again. Looks like it tried to end another ABC at the 78%, which is probably clearer on the 1-hour time frame. And it looks to me like we are going up now, and we probably are going to break out of these highs and probably go a lot further up than that. So now let's take it down to the 1-hour time frame, where it's actually a little bit clearer that this is three waves down, ABC. This right here is an uptrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a wave A or possibly a wave 1. And then we have a very clear three waves down to the 78% Fibonacci level with a big impulsive move up. That is definitely looking to me like an ABC Kretzen, most likely a 2 or possibly a wave B. If that is the end of a Kretzen, then most likely this is just going to keep on trending up, making those higher highs and higher lows. So I am definitely looking for long opportunities, especially on the shorter time frames. So Kiwi dollar is very similar, actually almost looks a little more clear. So going out to the daily time frame on the Kiwi dollar, like I said, it's actually a little more clear because this one did make three waves down. It looks like it's making a higher low, higher low. I bet this one is also going to find some strength, and I bet it's going to just keep on trending up. So taking it down even further to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, you can definitely see the downtrend here. Looks like a wave A. This is a very sharp move to the upside, but it is kind of a three-way pattern, probably a B. And then this is a downtrend, probably a C. It broke structure to the upside, then made a pullback. At the end of that pullback would have been the safe entry to go long for the continuation of what I still think is going to be an uptrend. So that tells me that I'm definitely trying to find long opportunities, especially on these shorter time frames. Heading down to the 1 hour is really where the clarity is at, because we have that break of structure proving that the trend for the wave C is over. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I was saying about the other ones, it could be a wave A, but it's probably more likely a 1. Three waves down, probably a wave 2, but it could be a wave B. And we're definitely going up now for either a wave C or possibly a wave 3. If it's a wave C, it could end up looking something like that, making an impulsive move down, breaking structure, and then continuing back down. Or what I think is actually more likely is that it's just going to keep on trending up, making higher highs, higher lows, and we're going to get the continuation of that uptrend we've been waiting for a very long time on these longer time frames. Probably all part of a big wave 3. So let's check out the US dollar Canadian. US dollar Canadian is a very interesting one to me because I've already traded the US dollar Canadian sword a few times over the past few weeks and made very good profit on it because it looks to me like we have an impulsive downtrend, wave 1. We have an A, B, C up, wave 2. I think we're in a wave 3 right now. We definitely have not broken any structure to the upside, so that tells me that this move up is actually more likely to be a crescent to this move down, the last wave down right here. This is probably going to be a crescent to that, and it's probably going to bounce off a fib level and probably just keep on trending down. So I'm definitely still looking for shorts on this one, especially with how weak to the downside it has been. Now going down to the 4-hour time frame, this one is not really convincing that it's over yet, but I do see a downtrend right here, and then I see what looks like a, B, C, D, E. Now we are pretty much right at the 61.8, so if it makes a nice impulsive move down, a nice big engulfing candle, then that's what it's going to take for me to believe that that is the end of a wave E, and that that is the entry that I'm waiting for the continuation of the downtrend. So we definitely haven't seen it yet, but it definitely looks like it's coming. Now it kind of looks like it almost needs to make one more wave up because it looks like a 1, 2, 3. That means that it's probably going to make a 4 and a 5. Then if it bounces off to 61, makes it a positive move down, takes out structure, that's what it's going to tell me that the wave E is over, and that's definitely going to be an awesome entry to go short for the continuation of the downtrend. You could even wait for the break of structure and then wait for the pullback, and at the end of the first pullback would be a much safer entry to go short for the continuation of the downtrend. So US dollar Swiss, ooh, look at that. That's looking real nice. So let's go back up to the daily time frame. US dollar Swiss, I think this whole thing down, this whole first move down is a 1. I think this is an A, B, C of 2, especially looking at like the monthly time frame. I think we're in a wave 3 right now. Our last structure level is way up here, so they definitely would have to go up a long ways for me to believe that this move down is over. I think this move up is more likely to be a crescent to this last wave down, and that it will just keep on going down. So let's keep going down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, since we don't have any structure broken on the higher time frames, I'm definitely still looking for shorts. We got a very impulsive motive wave down. It looks like a trend, followed by a crescent, followed by a trend. I definitely consider it respecting the 50%. Made a nice big impulsive move down. It's really starting to look like it's trying to end a crescent. And if that is the end of a crescent, then it will go down. It will take out these lows, and it will probably even go a lot further down than that. So it's definitely looking pretty good to be an end of a crescent. 1-hour time frame, it looks like we're starting to get very close to taking out some structure. It kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. Looks like 3 waves down for the B. And it kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would probably be better visible on the 30-minute or the 15-minute time frame. We are pretty much right at that structure level right now. So if it breaks that structure and then makes a pullback, at the end of that pullback, just like I said on the US dollar Canadian, that would be a much safer entry to go short for what is probably going to be the continuation of the downtrend. All the higher time frames are definitely telling me the trend is down. Shorter time frames, I'm looking for 3 waves up. I'm looking for an impulsive move down at a Fibonacci level and a break of structure for an entry to go short. It looks like we may be getting all that right now on the US dollar Swiss. Now, like I've been explaining in my videos for almost a week now, the US dollar yen is not really a pair that I would be trading right now personally, because the yen has been very weak and the dollar has been very weak. I don't want to trade weak versus weak. I want to trade weak versus strong. Like the euro and the pound has been strong versus weak. That's what I want. I don't want to trade a weak yen versus a weak dollar because it makes for a very unreliable pattern. But I still see this as a downtrend. I still see this as possibly being 3 waves up, ABC, maybe a 2. This looks like a trend also, so that could be like a 1. This could be like an ABC of 2. We are at the 61% Fibonacci level right now, so if it does make an impulsive move down, I would definitely stake that as a sorting opportunity. But like I said, the yen is really driving all the yen pairs up right now, so I'm not really sure if this is the pair that I would trade. I think there would be many other US dollar pairs that would be much more desirable, just because we have weak versus weak right now. So taking it down to the 4-hour time frame, like I already said, this is probably not the most reliable. I made an impulsive move down, and it already looks like it wants to go back up. Probably because the yen is trying to push the US dollar yen up. But we do have an impulsive move down. We do have what looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably an A. This looks like a B. This looks like a C. This looks like 3 waves down for the D, and it looks like an uptrend for the E. So it really has everything that it should have. The only thing that's really holding me back on this one is the weak yen versus the weak dollar. But it is turning at the 61.8, so if it keeps going down, if it takes out structure, I would say that probably is the end of a correction, and I would take that as a sorting opportunity. Like I said, I would probably prefer to look at some other dollar pairs, but it probably will turn out just as good as any of the other ones, so it's probably worth taking. So now we can head down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the nice 5-wave pattern. We don't have the lower wave 4 taken out yet, so we can't really confirm that the wave E is over yet. So, but if it does go down, if it does take out that structure, and then it makes a pullback, at the end of that pullback would be a much safer entry to go short for what is probably going to end up being the continuation of the downtrend. So it definitely looks very good. It's just the fact that the yen has been weak that is definitely holding me back a little bit. Look at gold. Gold might have done a little bit of a stop hunt today. So gold did break structure to the downside today, which would tell me that the uptrend may be over. But as you can see, it broke structure and then it almost instantly pulled back. That's probably a stop hunt right there, and it probably is going to continue the uptrend. This line right here up here represents all-time highs on gold. So just because we're very close to all-time highs, I do expect to see a very volatile market right now. And if the gold is going to be very volatile, then we probably will get breaks of structure that don't follow through like what happened today. But it's starting to look pretty good, just like some of these other dollar pairs. Now the problem is that I have with it is that this move down is lower lows, lower highs. There was no break of structure to the upside. It kind of looks more like a wave A. It kind of looks like now it's going to go up and make a wave B, which it probably will. And it probably is going to go back down to make a C. And then once that's complete, that's probably when it's going to go back up. People are probably going to be ready to go long when they see this wave B forming. But really, that probably is just a wave B. That probably will go back down for a wave C. So taking it down to the 1 hour time frame, it really seems to me like this whole thing is a wave A because I see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then it made a 6 and a 7. It doesn't really look like a correction unless it's a motive wave correction, which it definitely could be, but that is a very strong move back up. It probably is at minimum going to do something like this, which is still a pretty good move to the upside, A, B, C of B. Which, like I said, that's still a pretty good move to the upside, and we don't really know for sure. It could just keep on trending up. So I would be looking at this as possibly being a correction to the move down, but I would also be keeping in mind that the trend is up on basically every time frame. So most likely, if we're looking for longs and it just ends up continuing the uptrend and then it turns out to be a wave B, then we'll just get out with some profit. Or if it just keeps on trending up, then we'll just learn and earn at the same time. We're going to learn that it's continuing the uptrend while we're earning money. So definitely a little tricky. Gold is definitely a little tricky, and I think a lot of that is because of the fact that we're very close to all-time highs. Look at silver though. Silver just made something that looks like a correction and that's about ready to break structure. That looks like it's more convincing that it's going to go up. But it's probably really only a wave A, just like gold. It'll probably go up now and make a B, and then it'll probably go down again to make a C, just like gold will most likely end up doing. So if we're in a wave B, we could definitely be trading long the wave B, and then if it just keeps on going up, that's like a bonus for us. If it goes up and does this, and then makes an impulsive move down, we could probably still get out with some profit, and then we could trade short the wave C. When the wave C is over, we see a break to the upside, we can exit our shorts, and we can go long again for the continuation of the uptrend. So if you really pay attention to structure and the market, you can play both sides and just trade the living heck out of this. But to me, it definitely looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even a 6, 7 wave downtrend. We are about to break structure. Like I said, it could be a wave B, C, or B. and then it could go back down again, but just as easily it could just keep on going up like this, making higher highs and higher lows. So that's pretty much all the dollar pairs. So we're definitely going to take a look at the yen pairs also today, but we've had some requests from my Patreon members to look at some of the yen pairs, so we'll definitely do that also. Let me just check a few things here. So yeah. Ooh, that did make another push up. So anyways, going down to the yen pairs, what do we got on the yen pairs? Ooh, it looks like it's time to go up again. Let's get rid of that. So I still believe that we're in a big wave 3 on all the yen pairs, and even if it does make some movement down on the sort of time frames, I do believe that it's just going to keep on trending up, making higher highs and higher lows. I definitely still think the trend is up. I definitely don't see any reason to think the trend is not up anymore. Tells me that I'm looking for ABC corrections on shorter time frames. I'm looking for pullbacks to go long. I want to see either 3 waves down, or I want to see like a motive wave down with an impulsive move up, breaking structure, and end up continuing the uptrend. So let's keep going down to the 1 hour time frame. So 1 hour time frame, really our last major structure level is way down here, so unless it goes down and breaks that, I would say that this is more likely to be a correction, and I'm still definitely looking for longs in an uptrend for the continuation of this uptrend. So like I said, I'm definitely still looking for longs. As of now, I definitely don't see any reason to think that this move is over yet. And if I see another opportunity, something like this, 3 waves down, 3 waves down, anything along these lines is what I'm looking for entries to go long. Really, it's actually not that hard. Just get in at the end of a pullback and just see what happens. If it doesn't work out, get out as quick as possible, and then later on, try again. So just do your best and just get in, get out as fast as possible, and just do your best to make some profit along the way. Let's look at the pound yen. Same thing, all these yen pairs. If you look at all these yen pairs on the monthly, I think the pound yen is headed up to this area. I think the euro yen is headed up to here. Aussie yen, right up there. I think that all these yen pairs are headed up for a long time, and I don't think any of them are actually finished. The Swiss yen's definitely a little different, and that is another reason why I have some doubts about the euro yen pattern, and why I personally wouldn't be trying to trade it right now, just because we have a weak versus weak pattern going on, and we don't really want to trade weak versus weak. We want to trade weak versus strong. We want to trade weak versus strong. We do not want weak versus weak. So anyways, let's go, we're on the pound dollar, so let's take it down a little bit to the 4 hour. 4 hour time frame, we got a big pullback right there, but that very easily could just keep on going up. We did bounce off a fib level, but we haven't taken any structure out yet. The trend is definitely still up. I definitely still don't see a reason to think otherwise, so I'm definitely still very bullish and still looking for longs in an uptrend. So let me just move up. Sorry everybody, I got some trades going today too that I'm trying to keep an eye on my second screen. So ooh, look at that. That probably is a 15-minute time frame end of a correction right there, possibly. Maybe a little 3-way pattern down. That may be already ending a correction right there. Probably already heading back up. It's definitely looking fairly good. Go back down to the 1 hour. The trend, this move down never broke any structure, not even minor structure. The major structure's back here, and it definitely didn't break that, so I would definitely say the trend is still up, and I think it's more likely that it will just keep going up. I am definitely still looking for longs in an uptrend for sure. Aussie yen, a little bit different just because the Aussies have been kind of weak, but I still am looking for 3-way pullbacks. 3 waves down, 3 waves down. Same thing, I'm just looking for those 3-way pullbacks. And we might have had a little 3-way pullback already, and it could very easily just keep going up from here. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this. As of now, I don't really see much of a reason to think that this is over yet. Same thing with the Kiwi yen. It's kind of weak to the upside, but it probably will do something very similar to the other ones. Now the Canadian yen, I think, is one of the ones that my Patreon member wanted me to look at. Now I believe this is a 1, 2, 3, and it's going to go up well beyond the high of this, and it's going to take out this structure, and whatever we see down on the sort of time frames, this is going to be a correction to the uptrend. sort of time frames, we do have a break of structure right there, but that's probably just part of a correction, and it probably is just going to keep going up, especially with the fact that we are not really respecting any fib levels. We went past it, we made a pullback, and now I bet we'll get a continuation of the uptrend. So, 1 hour time frame, let's get rid of this because yes, we have a break of structure, but it's probably a wave C structure. This is probably like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. I bet this is a little three-way pattern up for the B. And, oops, I bet that we're going down now for wave C. I don't really see much proof that it's over yet, but if we see some impulsive movement up and big engulfing candles, that will tell me that this correction is most likely over, and that will be a really nice entry to go long for the continuation of this uptrend. So that's definitely what I'm looking for on that one. And the Swiss yen has been an awesome pair to trade also because the Swiss has been actually quite strong lately. So the Swiss has been a very nice pair to trade. So, same thing, we're looking for pullback entries, we're only looking for longs. I'm definitely only looking to go long, and I'm only looking to go long at the end of ABC pullbacks. They're all over this chart, they're everywhere. 3 waves down, 3 waves down, even right there there's 3 waves down, 3 waves down, 3 waves down. That's what we're looking for to go long. I don't see any reason yet to think that this is not just going to keep on going up. It kind of looks like it wants to make a higher low right here and just keep on going up right now, so definitely keep an eye on it. As of now, I definitely don't see any reason to think that any of these moves up are finished on any of these yen pairs. So I think it's definitely worth continuing to look for long entries. So I would just continue to look for pullback entries, try to find three-way pullbacks, try to find impulsive engulfing moves to the upside, and if you can catch those moves, trade them until you see an engulfing move to the downside or a break of structure to the downside. You'll probably be pretty happy if that's what you do. So let's move on. So we got through all the dollar pairs and all the yen pairs. Now we're going to start looking at requests. So what do we got for requests? Let me just check Discord one more time, see if there's any more requests. I got the Yo Aussie from Mr. Wolf. So I think we're all good with requests. We got a few to get started. We got the Yo Aussie and the Yo Swiss, so we may as well just go look at the Euro pairs and all together. The Euro Swiss, we'll start with that one. Yeah, this is the one that I have a member in my group that follows the Euro Swiss, Stefan, really closely, and we've been talking about this pattern for a very long time now, and we've been trying to figure out if it really did end at wave C or not. It really looks like it did, but it's kind of hard to tell for sure. Because it looks like it did, because it definitely made what looks like three waves up, and it did bounce off a Fibonacci level. It did make an impulsive move down, and it is making lower highs. So I would say that the trend is definitely still down on the higher time frames. So I am definitely still very bearish. I think that the more likely thing to happen is that it probably will just keep on going down. So let's clear this out and now go down to a little bit of a shorter time frame. So what do we got on these shorter time frames? It's very, very overlapping, very, very corrective looking, but it does kind of resemble a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was originally thinking this was originally we were thinking this was an end of a correction, but then it made three waves up. So now I'm thinking this is probably a 1, this is probably a 2, and I bet we're going to keep going down. I think this is more likely to go down, and I think because this right here probably is the end of a correction, it probably will take out this low, and it will probably go a lot further down than that. So I'm definitely still very bearish. I do think that the better opportunity is going to be to the shorter side. Let's get rid of this because I think that we're still looking for shorts. To me, this kind of looks like an A. This looks like a B. And we're probably going up for a C right now. So if we see like a three-way pattern up, we see an impulsive move down, we see a break of structure, then I would definitely take that as a sorting opportunity for the continuation of the downtrend. I definitely don't really see any reason to think this trend is over, the downtrend that is, so I would definitely still be looking for three waves up, impulsive moves down to go short. Definitely very corrective looking, which does make you think that this analysis is right. Looks like an A. This is probably a correction right here, like a B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. I would keep an eye on this because if it goes down and breaks structure, it's probably going to just keep on going down. It looks like it's very, very close to continuing the downtrend. So that's looking pretty dang good right there. Like I said, I personally don't trade this pair, but this is a pair that we've been looking at for quite a while. So the Euro Aussie I've been thinking is a wave 3. I don't really see any reason yet to think that it's not a wave 3. I think that it's more likely to just keep on making these higher highs, higher lows. It probably will make plenty of pullbacks on the shorter time frames. But if this is the end of a big A, B, C right here, then it probably will go up and take out this high right here eventually. Now we are on the weekly time frame, so I'm sure that's going to take a very long time to happen, but that probably is going to be what happens. So let's go down even more. So we're definitely still looking for longs in an uptrend. Daily structures right here. So unless it takes out that structure, the trend is definitely 100% up. This move down is probably some sort of a correction, and it will most likely just keep on going up. So heading down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, it already looks like it made 3 waves down. We have a little bit of a fib bounce. I think this is more likely that it's just going to keep going up. I definitely don't see any reason to think it's over yet. 1-hour time frame. It definitely looked pretty corrective to the upside, but it made a higher low. It went a higher low than this, that is. It did break structure, but it only broke structure with a spike. Usually that's a good sign that it's actually just going to keep on going up, and it probably is not even near over yet. So that's probably what's going on with that. I definitely think that we have a 3-way pattern already. A, B, C. We have a break of structure. We have a pullback. At the end of the pullback is probably going to be the safer entry to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So I'm definitely thinking that the better opportunity is going to be looking for longs on this also. So let's switch over and let's look at natural gas and oil. See if we can figure out what's going on with those. So let's see. Just looking at the comments. Sweet, awesome. So let's go look at natural gas and oil. And those dollar pairs are cranking today. I've been short and long today, and then back to long. Or no, long short and then back to long. But anyways, oh, we broke structure to the downside on oil. Let me put this on a shorter time frame so we don't have to see it on this time frame. It looks like there's still a possibility that this move up is going to be a correction to this whole move down right here. And there's always a possibility that this could do something like this and then turn down. But even if it does do something like that, I think it needs to make like a 3-way pattern before it goes down in a big way. But I still think that it's actually more likely to do this and then this, and this is going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, of a big A, B, C of B. So now let's take it down to the 4-hour. The 4-hour time frame, we definitely have a break of structure right here. It definitely looks to me like the trend is over. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. And this right here definitely looks like a downtrend, probably a wave A. This is probably a wave B right here. And I bet it'll go back down again for a wave C. It doesn't even look like it's really started the wave B yet, but since we broke that structure, it probably is a good place for it to start a wave B. So let's see. This is definitely a downtrend. Lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. Definitely trending down. It really hasn't taken out any structure yet to tell us the wave A is over, but I bet it is going to go up pretty soon and start making a wave B, especially with this break of structure we got, and then it will probably go back down and make a wave C. Probably going to be a pretty nice little trade right there. At the end of a wave B, you could definitely trade short the wave C. It looks like, even though it hasn't taken out structure yet, it looks like it probably is going to take out structure, probably proving this move down is over, and then it's probably going to go up and make a 3-way pattern down, which would be a correction to this, and once that's over, it'll probably go down and make a bigger move to the downside for a wave C, ABC of B or ABC of 2. Either way, an ABC of 2 is pretty much exactly the same as an ABC of B, so really, it doesn't really matter much whether it's a B or whether it's a 2 right now. So let's look at natural gas, which was another one that was requested. Ooh, natural gas is making a big pump down. Wow. Now, natural gas, I've been saying for quite some time, is very clear that it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1. This is an A, B, C of 2. And it still looks like this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3. According to the pattern, it looks like it's more likely to go up and make an ABC of 4, which would be around the same size as this, and then back down again for a 5. That's definitely what the pattern looks like, but I still not really convinced that the wave 4 is over, especially with how impulsive that thing is looking on the shorter time frames. I don't know, it definitely looks to me like a trend, so let's get rid of this. Let's put our Fibonacci on here, because this move down is looking like a trend to me, for sure. So let's measure this with our Fibonacci all the way from the top to the bottom. And we're probably looking at this move down as possibly being a crescent and possibly continuing back up. If this is a wave A of 4, then a wave A of 4 is probably eventually going to look like that. So I would definitely be keeping an eye on these Fibonacci levels to see if we get some sort of a three-way pattern down and an entry to go long. Probably for like a 1, a 2, and then a wave 3. That's supposed to be a 2, and then a 4, 5 type thing for a wave A. Probably go up and at least take out this high. So on the 1 hour time frame, yeah, we definitely have plenty of structure breaks. We got a structure break there, and we just broke another structure here. It probably is a wave A. It probably will eventually go up a little bit, make a corrective wave B, and most likely back down again to make a wave C. So probably is going to be some sort of an ABC crescent, probably will break structure, and most likely just keep on trending up. So it does look like an ABC to me. It looks very impulsive down like it's an A, but this move up right here broke structure, which does make me think that, and this move up right here looks like a trend, not a crescent, which makes me think that this move down is a crescent to this move up, and once that crescent is over, it probably will just keep on trending up, probably like a 1, a 2, and probably even a wave 3. So let's get back to let's see, we got oil and natural gas. Let's go look at the Nifty Bank for one of my members. So the Nifty Bank is this one. Yeah, we're definitely still trending up, that's for sure. On the daily, it looks like a 1, 2, 3. So we're definitely still trending up, and to me, this looks very corrective. This whole move down looks corrective. I think we're probably going to go up and take out this high. Probably going to end up eventually looking something like that. So there probably is going to be plenty of long opportunities on the shorter time frames. Yeah, I don't even see any evidence that this is over. It looks very clear that this is a 1 and a 2. This is probably all a wave 3 right here. It is in a pullback right now, but that's actually good, because if you can identify the end of a pullback, that's probably going to be a pretty decent long. Like I said, I bet it's going to go up here to finish a 3 and then make a 4 and a 5. Probably going to end up looking something along these lines, and then at that point I bet that's when the dollar will turn back. Yeah, so this is going up, so that the dollar, this will probably turn down and the dollar will probably turn up about the same time. So that probably does make sense. Yeah, definitely looks very corrective. We don't even have any structure broken yet. So if you see like in a big engulfing candle, that takes out structure, that would be a long opportunity for me for sure. A higher time frames tell me the trend is up. Shorter time frames, we're definitely still looking for longs and an uptrend. So yeah, definitely no reason to think otherwise, that this is over or anything like that. So let's see, we got most of the, let me go back to Discord, see if there's any more requests. We already looked at oil, RB, so hopefully you were there for that. Let me scroll up a little bit, see if there was any more requests. Doesn't really look like it, so that's good. We got everybody's requests. We looked at all the dollar pairs, we looked at all the yen pairs. We can go look at Bitcoin real quick. We made a video for Bitcoin earlier already, but I still think Bitcoin is headed up. I think Bitcoin on the weekly time frame is probably going to eventually end up like this. Probably an A. Probably eventually go down and make a B, and then most likely back up to make a C. Probably end up looking something along these lines. If it goes up to one of these fibs, which I think it very easily could, I think there's a good chance this is going to be a crescent to this move down. And probably a wave A. Hey, Iron B or whatever it is. Yeah, we can look at the Aussie Kiwi for you. I'll write that down. We'll look at that after Bitcoin. This looks to me like a downtrend, like an A. This looks like 3 waves up, like a B, and it looks like it's going to go down again for a wave C. So I still think Bitcoin is probably going to make a move to the downside, but we're on the weekly time frame, and I'm expecting to see something like this. So you can just take your mouse out and look and see. That puts us all the way out until probably about March of 2024. So definitely no reason to think this is over yet. 4-hour time frame, we do not have any break of structure to the downside yet. This looks very corrective to me, like it is just going to keep going up. I think this is a 1, this is a 2, and we're in a wave 3. Probably eventually it's going to end up looking something like this for a 3, 4, 5 of wave A, and a 1 and a 2 down here. It's all going to be part of a big wave A, I'd imagine. Probably a A or B. So on the 4-hour time frame, I got my Fibonacci retracement measuring this last move up. It definitely looks to me like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this looks like an A, B, C down. We are right at the Fibonacci level, so if it makes a big engulfing candle up, I would definitely take that as a long opportunity. And since what we see on the longer time frames, the trend is up, I'm definitely still primarily looking for longs in an uptrend, and it kind of looks like it's already very close to making a long opportunity. Going down to the 1 hour, I can definitely see a downtrend. Looks to me like an A. I definitely see what looks like 3 waves up. Looks like a B. This kind of looks like a 1, 2, 3, and this looks like it needs to go down one more time for a 4 to finish the C, and then go up and break structure. But sometimes you don't get that wave 4 and 5 on a wave C, so you might want to be careful. It could very easily just keep on drifting up from here, ending a wave C right at the 50% after 3 waves down. It looks like it could go down one more time to make a 5 and then go up, but either way, I bet that it is getting very close to continuing the uptrend. Definitely no reason to think that the uptrend is over on the longer time frame, so we're definitely still looking for longs in an uptrend. So let's see, what do we got now? Let's go look at the Aussie Kiwi. Let's see, Aussie pair. Well, the Aussie's been weak and the Kiwi's been weak, so let's see who's winning. Looks like right now the Kiwi's winning on the 1 hour, but on the longer time frames, the Aussie's definitely winning a little bit. So to me, this definitely looks like an ABC to this whole last downtrend. And this definitely looks to me like a trend down. That means that this move up is probably going to be a correction to this move down. This is probably an A. We're probably going to go down now and make a B, and then we're probably going to go up and make a C, probably back to the 61.8 or maybe the 78.6 before it makes an impulsive move down and ends up continuing the downtrend, maybe even like a 1, 2, and 3, or maybe well, yeah, if this is an end of a correction, then it would be an 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I bet they're breaking structure. I was watching it on my second screen because I've been in an EU trade. Like I said, I was long and then I was short, and now I'm back long. So I've been trading both directions today and doing really good. So, anyways, going down to the 4-hour time frame, it looks like a nice little uptrend right here, and we do have a break of structure. It possibly could be an ABC and go up again. So definitely be careful. I don't really see yet too much confirmation that the wave A is over. I'd like to see this turn into like a big impulsive move down, and then we would know the wave A is over and that we're going down for like an A, B, C. Oops. Sorry about that. And we're probably going down for an ABC of this move up, like an ABC or B. And then we'll probably go back up for a C. This is probably going to be an A, this will probably be an A, B, C, or B, and it'll probably go back up for a C. Maybe back up to the 61, and then I bet it'll just end up continuing the downtrend based on the longer time frames. So definitely looking pretty sweet. Yeah, on the 1 hour time frame, I'm actually a little more convinced that this is a correction and that it probably will go up one more time. I bet it's going to be like a 3, 4, 5 though. Probably going to end up looking like that, and then go down and start that A, B, C, or B that I was just showing you. That probably is going to be the more likely thing to happen. Definitely seems like it's going to make some sort of an A, B, C, or B. Now, if this right here does start to grow into a 3, then you'll know that you're in a wave A, and then you'll know that the correction is next, and you could trade the end of a wave B, and you could trade the wave C. And that would be a pretty decent trade down. And then at the end of the wave C, you could go long at a break of structure and then trade this move up for the wave C. So you could trade both directions and just keep on going with the flow. So let's go back to the dollar pairs. The dollar is all over the place today. It's crazy. For a day when there's no dollar news, let's look at the news calendar. There's really no dollar news today at all, unless something unexpected happened, which I don't really see that anything unexpected in the forecast over the last couple of hours. Oh, housing market starts to decline. Maybe that was a couple hours ago. That could be it, maybe. Maybe it's all because the housing market's going down in the US, causing the dollar to go down with it. That probably is what it is causing this move right here, about 2.5 hours ago. That makes sense too. So let's go back to the dollar pairs and see what's going on with these things. Like I said, they've been pretty wild today. For a day when there's almost no news, they've been up and down and all around. So I still think that the euro dollar is holding this wave C right here, and that this move up right here is a trend, this move down is a correction, and then this move up is a trend also. That definitely looks like the most likely thing, and it looks like it's more likely to just keep on trending up. So I would definitely be looking for longs, especially on shorter time frames right now. I don't really see any reason other to do so. It looks like it might be getting ready to make a pullback just because of where it is in the pattern. How it just broke all these highs right there. Probably is in a pullback, but it's probably just going to be a correction to the uptrend. Same thing on the pound dollar. The pound dollar is definitely a little more on the tricky side though, because it made higher high for the wave B, which is definitely not too ideal. But it definitely looks like that is most likely what's going on with that, and we're probably in an uptrend now on this one also. Probably going to end up just continuing the uptrend. I'm sure there's going to be some pullbacks along the way, so don't expect it to go up all at once, but it definitely looks like it's going up. And like I said, we had pound CPI today, so that's probably why this has such a erratic looking pattern, but it definitely looks like it's going back up for sure. So let's see, let's go check out the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is actually very clear. I normally don't really trade the Aussie dollar that much, but it's actually very clear that that's 3 waves down. And the reason why I haven't been trading the Aussie dollar is because the Aussie has been so weak. Not because I don't like the Aussie dollar, because the Aussie dollar is definitely a good pair to trade, and we might actually get some Aussie strength kicking in, which will hopefully help cause this to continue up. And the Aussie and the Kiwi have a lot of catching up to do. So same thing with the Kiwi. We have impulsive up, we have 3 waves down. I can already tell one of these patterns is probably going to be my clearest entry of the day video. We have 3 waves down, impulsive up. That looks like an entry to go long, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of pullbacks along the way, but it looks like it's going up. It doesn't look like this move is over yet. US dollar Canadian. And for some reason the US dollar Canadian is not really cooperating, but it looks like an A, B, C, D, E. Whoops, that's not drawn very well, but it looks like an A, B, C, D, E. It didn't really touch a fib level, so maybe it needs to go up one more time to touch that fib level and then go down and then break structure, and then from there most likely continue the downtrend. That probably is what's going to happen. So I would definitely be keeping an eye out for this one, because this is, like I showed before, is a really strong downtrend on the longer time frame, so I'd definitely keep an eye out for that. US dollar Swiss is another one that I would really be keeping an eye on, because this has been the Swiss has been strong and the dollar's been weak, so this is probably going to be a really good pair to trade. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. It looks like a little 3-way pattern down for the B, and then a little uptrend for the C. So far everything looks very good for this to be an end of a correction at the 50% level. So I would definitely be looking for shorts, especially on shorter time frames, for the continuation of the downtrend. Definitely don't really see any reason to think this is over. The US dollar yen, maybe, even though the yen has been kind of driving this a little bit, may be a good one to choose because this is probably all part of a big ABC of B, ABCDE, that is. You have to zoom out quite a ways to see it on the 1 hour, but it looks like an ABCDE. We are at a Fibonacci level, so it is a very good chance that this is going to be a pretty decent trade also, making lower lows and lower highs. So that's looking pretty good also. I would definitely think that this is going to turn out fairly good also. Like I said, the yen has been very weak and the dollar has been very weak, so this has not been a pair that I've been trading just because of that alone. But it probably will turn out just as good as any of the other ones, I would imagine. So why not trade it, I guess? Maybe the yen is going to find a little bit of strength and the dollar will find a little bit of weakness and it will kind of catch up and start doing what it should do. So let's see. Let's get back to gold. Gold is a little bit of a tricky one too, but it's probably more likely that this is going to be a big A, B, C, or B. And it probably is more likely that this is going to go down again to make a C. I'm not really convinced that that's the end of a crescent like I am on some of the other dollar pairs. It looks more likely that it's going up for a B and then back down for a C, which is probably exactly what it's going to end up doing. Maybe probably the silver is probably doing something very similar also, probably an A. Oops, I got the highlighter. Probably an A, B, C, and then probably back down again. Probably like an A here, an A, B, C, a B, and then probably down again for a wave C. Gold, sometimes you have to realize, doesn't really follow the dollars. I mean, most of the time it does, but gold is kind of its own thing. You know, gold very often will do whatever it wants to do. Sometimes it will make a move when the other dollar pairs aren't, and sometimes the other dollar pairs will be making a move and gold will not make a move in silver, because there's a lot of things that drive gold and silver besides the dollar, so we have to be a little bit cautious about that. A lot of the times gold and silver move for other reasons besides the dollar, just like the dollar pairs. The other dollar pairs also move sometimes for other reasons than the dollar. You know, the other currency will be driving it. And I suggest if you do trade gold, you look at all these other gold pairs, because that can give you a good idea about what gold is actually going to do. Correlated pairs is one of the ways that I find out what's going on most of the dollar pairs. So if you haven't done so already, definitely like and subscribe to my channel. But if you haven't done so, more importantly, join my free Discord channel. 100% free to join. You don't have to pay a penny if you don't want to. And I also offer teaching, and I offer a course to my Gold Patreon members. So if anybody is interested in my course, or if anybody is interested in learning more, we have Zoom meetings twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday. I do a members forecast every morning on all the yen pairs and all the dollar pairs. And I now have a course, 38 videos long, for all the Gold Patreon members. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. The link for that is in the chat and in the description. So definitely check that out. If not, join my free Discord, 100% free to join. And we live stream on YouTube on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday. So the next live stream will be on Friday. I hope to see everybody there, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. And as always, happy trading and good luck.